Once upon a time, a king, a monkey, and a tiny fly created quite a stir. Get ready for the hilarious and heartwarming tale of the king, the monkey, and the fly, and discover a big lesson in wisdom.
Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom filled with sunshine and laughter, lived a very kind king. He had a most unusual pet, a playful little monkey named Pip. Pip was a silly creature, often getting into comical scrapes, but the king adored her dearly. She was treated like royalty herself, with soft cushions to nap on and delicious fruits to munch. Pip was allowed to roam freely throughout the magnificent palace, a privilege even trusted servants didn't always have. Her favorite spot was often right beside the king, even in his private, magnificent chambers. One warm afternoon, after a long day of kingly duties, the king felt a wave of sleepiness wash over him. He retired to his luxurious bedchamber for a peaceful nap. Pip, ever watchful and loyal in her own peculiar way, sat on a nearby velvet stool, tasked with keeping an eye on her beloved master. The golden sunlight streamed softly through the grand windows, making the dust motes dance in the quiet, sleepy air. A gentle breeze rustled the silk curtains, lulling the entire room into a tranquil slumber. Suddenly, a tiny buzzing sound interrupted the peaceful silence. Whiz! A mischievous fly, with iridescent black wings, darted into the room, seemingly from nowhere. This tiny creature landed right on the king's rosy cheek, causing him to stir slightly in his slumber. Pip, ever alert to anything disturbing her king, immediately noticed the intruder. With a flick of her tiny hand, she shooed the bothersome insect away, her brow furrowed in concentration. For a moment, the room was quiet again, but not for long. That pesky fly was persistent. However, it zipped around the room for a few moments, then, with a bold flourish, landed once more, this time right on the king's chest. Pip's eyes narrowed. This was simply unacceptable. She shooed it away again, a little more forcefully this time, making a soft FWIP sound. The fly buzzed off, but Pip knew it would return. A spark of frustration, combined with her well-meaning but ultimately foolish nature, flickered in the monkey's mind. She scanned the room for a better tool, something to ensure the fly wouldn't bother her king again. Her gaze fell upon a ceremonial sword, polished and gleaming, hanging on the wall. "Aha!" chattered Pip, a mischievous glint in her bright eyes, thinking she had found the perfect solution. She carefully took it down, the sword looking enormous in her tiny hands. As the fly, with its delicate wings, settled for a third time on the king's peaceful chest, Pip leaped into action. Gathering all her strength, she swung the heavy sword with a mighty whoosh, aiming to swat the tiny insect. The fly, quick as a blink, zipped away, completely unharmed. But alas, the foolish monkey's aim was terribly off. The heavy sword, instead of harmlessly swatting the fly, landed with a thud right upon the king's chest. A sharp cry of pain escaped the king's lips as he suddenly woke up, his peaceful nap shattered. He looked down, seeing the deep crimson mark where the sword had struck, and then up at his pet, who stood frozen, the sword still gripped in her tiny, trembling hands. Pip, seeing the king's wounded state, dropped the sword with a clatter and chattered mournfully, finally realizing the terrible consequence of her misguided action. The king, though hurt, understood Pip's intentions were good, even if her actions were terribly wrong. He sighed softly, knowing that sometimes, even with the best of hearts, foolish impulsiveness can lead to unintended harm. It's a reminder that while loyalty is a wonderful trait, true wisdom and careful thought are always needed, especially when making important decisions. This tale teaches us that good intentions, mixed with a lack of wise judgment, can often cause more trouble than benefit.
Ever dreamed of being the hero? Now you get to be the star. Your adventure starts at TalesMio. Visit talesmio.com now.